What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse. Today we are back with another She-Hulk reaction, this time to episode 7 of the series. And joining me, as always, for these She-Hulk reactions is Nikki. What's up, Nikki?
Not too much. I was personally a big fan of last week's episode. It looks like not really the most popular opinion to have, but I loved it. I'm excited for this one, too.
I think most people enjoyed last week's episode. I think the vocal majority of people are people that expected Daredevil last week and were just disappointed. And who knows if he's going to show up this week. So I don't know. But based off the title of this episode, I don't think he will. But you know what? There's only one way to find out, right?
There really is. Let's do it.
So let's jump into episode 7 of She-Hulk, titled The Retreat. Let's do it.
Oh no. If they're focusing on him, what does that mean?
It means that he's in the episode.
I just hope it's for good reasons.
Some of these are death threats.
Ominous. Pretty ominous.
Very. Especially when social media is involved.
Especially when french fries are involved.
I don't know if that's ominous as much as just a good thing.
Maybe the intelligentsia is targeting her cholesterol?
I don't want to think about that. I just want to think about how much I love fries now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Aww.
Wait, go back to the picture of Steve's butt. Oh, I like that. I like that smooth transition. Little pre-date shot. Shake the jitters.
There's some really good jams in the show.
Yeah, I'm vibing. Oh, taco truck.
Can't go wrong with tacos.
Can't go wrong with most food trucks. Awkward first date. Good for Jen. She's a little more apprehensive.
That's not a bad idea.
I don't know. I've never been a fries dipped in my milkshake kind of guy.
I don't go ahead and do it most of the time, but when I think about it, it tends to be pretty good.
Ooh. That's a good policy, though. Don't want to put yourself out there too quickly if you really like the guy.
Aw, people still go to drive-ins.
They're just doing everything. Alright, 3 dates. That's good. That's a good policy. It's a bit of a whirlwind week, huh?
Yeah, no shit. I wish I had that kind of energy during the work week.
Maybe he's making breakfast.
I hope so. That would be a much better thing to wake up to.
Not making breakfast.
Or maybe she knows that he left already.
From the indentation in the bed, it doesn't seem like she was aware that he left.
Yeah. That is a wonderful suit, though, if that's one of the new suits.
Yeah, it has to be. Good for you, Jen.
Does mean we get to go to a gala?
I don't care what a bunch of losers say about me online. Can't even say it to my face because they know they get Hulk smashed.
That is very true.
Very prophetic of the writers.
It's just gonna feel icky. You just gotta cook
He's
through
very
it
smart.
without doing anything stupid.
And I love that giant bow.
There's literally no reason in this day and age to not respond to a text.
Yes!
Jen is also right, though.
Or I hope he's at all of those today.
Oh my god, this is the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
Like, waiting for a text to come through.
Right, which, like, let me be clear. Ghosting is a thing. It's just particularly shitty, though, when it's right after they hooked up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no good way to look at this. Too good to be true.
Yeah.
Man.
I hate...
Well, do we think something happened to him? Or we think that he's the something that happened?
Him right now, because I already was sus.
Fair enough. Oh, I'm glad we're getting... I thought that's what the episode meant when it said the retreat.
Right.
I'm glad we're getting more Blonsky.
Here, my chances of staying out of the ICU would be much greater if I had a Hulk there with me.
He's not wrong.
He really
I'm
isn't.
not interrupting your weekend plans, am I? That's great. This whole place is full of weirdos.
Like all the 7 life partners?
Probably. I mean, he's got some sort of cult ranch going on, maybe. Man, she's really got to get off that phone.
Alright, stop looking. Don't get in an accident. Please. Yeah.
Yeah. Hanson, MCU canon. Hanson or canon in the MCU.
Summer Twilights.
That sounds like a creepy cult ranch.
Jen, you're honking your horn at a lizard monster. So big, jolly green yourself. I don't know what you call it.
Hulking out.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Would you, please?
Oh, from an electric fence earlier. It was worth it because my favorite chicken,
His favorite chicken.
Princess Silk Feather, was stuck.
Your favorite chicken.
Not that I don't
No.
like coming up here.
No.
I just, yeah.
Well, come back anytime.
That guy pieced out.
Such a hurry.
Yep.
All right, true that.
True that. True that. Oh God.
Oh my god.
Hey, men, working through their resentments in a safe environment, Jen.
Sorry, that's my fault.
You know, I apologize to my Prius Prime. With
Yeah.
Absolutely apologize to your Prius if that'll make you feel better. No, I am not a matador. That'll make the two of us fighting pretty cliche, no?
Some identity issues here,
I
Jen.
am not the one with the issues. All right. I know exactly who I am.
These are two like
Yeah.
Z-list
A
Marvel villains.
Saying that like it's an actual occupation.
I love that
Giving a
word.
sword around in the air is not a
I
job.
can't tell who they are though.
Unless you're a matador.
Swashbuckler.
See, to
What do you mean?
Manbull,
Actor-wise.
Aguila represents a push to the garage, would you?
Do I look like a mechanic?
Garish.
My name is Man Bull, not Mechanical Bull.
Oh my god.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
Yeah, that felt very forced.
You too?
I love how they called him out on it too.
Use the spiritual
How big is that
consultation,
tower?
Life
It just
coaching
keeps
that's
going.
Exclusive to our
Very funny.
Oh, got her.
in our ceremonial
Pranked.
sweat
Not sweating it out in a yurt today. I need to get some work done.
a policy, you know, distractions from the outside and all that.
Oh, and
Come
you
on,
know what's up.
Blonsky. Even Kamertage has Wi-Fi.
Maybe it's how you need.
They're not
to spend your
savages.
day.
It's
I'm
true.
gonna find a signal.
I guess it's more of a school
Clearly,
though.
you're not in a
That's fair.
teachable mood.
Also, where are the life partners? There's so many of
Well,
them.
maybe they just let him do his thing.
I guess.
I want to believe in Blonsky though. I want to believe that Blonsky's changed.
Yeah.
I like the new Blonsky. This is a terrible feeling though. I think we all know this feeling.
Oh, 100%. Especially when you're somewhere you don't even know.
Well, I just mean like waiting for like a text, like obsessing
Oh, yeah,
over someone who really doesn't care.
Oh, I thought you meant not having service.
Well,
which
yeah, that
I-
too.
Uh-huh.
This is Porcupine. He's a
Oh,
porcupine.
gosh.
And Saracen thinks he's a vampire.
Wow. Quite a group.
Other
welcome.
Z-list Marvel
I'll
villain.
pass.
Oh my God, Obama
Last
stay.
session,
That's
we
hilarious.
Really explored.
Spanish is a language, not a nationality, so.
You've never heard of Spain?
I know it's not your fault, but those actions.
I did do some light matadoring in college.
Oh my God, dude, what? How
We
could
do have to guard
Could
against
you?
codependency.
We are not codependent.
In-
No thanks.
Now, remember
It's
how
very
we talked
guarded.
about vulnerability and how
porcupine.
You want to take your suit off today?
I just feel safer with it on. Thank you.
Aww.
Jen, please.
Wrecker.
I was hurting for a yurt.
That guy's here?
Hurting for
Probably don't
your.
remember. No, I don't care. We're doing it again. Previously on this guy.
Oh, I love that.
You're
That
gonna
was-
strut around. Visited by a lot of feminine energy in there? I think I was
What?
talking to my dead grandmother Rose.
What?
Hard to tell when you're surfing the yurt though, right?
When you're surfing the yurt.
Oh hey!
Oh.
Come on, I stacked those!
I'm allowed. Sit in the calming chair right now. Right now.
You are not mine. Look at you flying into a rage, throwing people across the room.
Into perfectly stacked chairs.
Everyone else has.
Today is today. I love just like the
I met a
meaning.
guy, Josh, at a wedding.
Made love.
First off, ew. No,
Yeah.
when we slept together for the first time.
Another direct heat.
Okay, are you two married?
Come on.
Codependency.
Yeah, actually, could you switch seats with someone, anyone?
Are you
starting
happy?
to feel just a little unhealthy.
Yikes.
I
Yikes.
can't stop smiling. It is thirsty and a cliche.
Thirsty and a cliche.
Oh, got him.
Bottom line.
Okay, that's not exactly the last thing I
Oh
texted.
boy.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, just now because I was so worried. I hadn't heard from him in so
Oh,
long.
Jen.
For all I knew, he was in a ditch somewhere. Getting a little worried. Just want to know you're okay. Blushing smile emoji.
Yikes.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I was
freaking out, okay?
It's like a real bad look.
I know it's a bad look, man, Bull. I don't need you to point out my obvious mistakes. I have my mom for that.
Ooh,
I think that we have to
got
start
him.
considering the very real possibility that you were ghosted.
Or he wanted your blood.
Is that foreshadowing? Is that clever foreshadowing?
Maybe.
And this is where we were building to. And all of those filler
All right,
episodes.
screw this guy. Where does he live?
That's right, you gotta die.
Oh, big men, please.
No, Manbull is correct. Josh has made an enemy of this entire group.
Aww.
You've been warned about using bioelectricity in group before. So,
Let's go find this Josh guy and suck out all his blood.
Oh God. Oh
guys,
God.
Wait. Because I bet Jen is pretty damn great. And tasty. Damn it, went off the rails.
Went off the rails.
This may be this. Would love to spend time with Jen.
Aww.
I really hope they're not bad
Jen,
guys.
do you
Oh, I
because,
know,
that
right?
This group
I
genuinely
love them so
values
much already.
the whole of you.
Smells like fart.
How many hours?
Delete Josh's numbers.
That is true.
Oof.
Oh.
It's a very
Delete it.
Delete it.
profound episode.
Come on. Delete it.
Delete it.
Delete it.
Delete it.
Delete it.
Delete it. Delete it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hurting for a yurt.
How supportive they are. They're all out there waiting for her, worried. Yeah. We did it. I don't know what we did, but we did it. I feel healed. I feel good.
I'm glad you can feel that through
Slot towing.
the yurt.
The gang.
That was nice.
This is gang. It's not literal gang. I mean, just make sure you make that clear to the parole board.
Aww.
She was there for like a day.
Yeah.
And they made her.
All right, sorry about the car again.
Yeah, despite those platitudes, I am happy that I stopped.
Feel free to come again.
Oh, not till you get Wi-Fi.
Fair enough.
Come on.
Oh, and the driver's name is Dan.
It's go what?
The driver's name is Dan from Slot Towing. It's a play on Dan Slott, one of the more famous She-Hulk writers.
Oh.
Yeah, he was responsible for the comic series that the majority of the show is based off of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 3 days earlier.
Oh boy.
Oh no. What happened with Josh?
Something happened.
Oh, he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Ugh. He's a freaking creep.
Yeah. I called it. He was too good to be true.
F off, Josh. Oh.
Ew.
Oh. Dude, oh. What an a-hole. What an absolute a-hole, man. What a... Just not very nice.
It's not nice at all.
Ugh.
Mm.
Man, like, not only was he a terrible person, but he's probably the worst person out of all the guys so far.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And they just made it so real by him taking that picture of her like that.
I know. That's so creepy. I mean,
Because that's a very real thing that real women deal with.
yeah. It's
You know?
like, it's bad enough that, one, he's just a complete freaking liar. Two, he led her on for as long as he did. And then he, like, just violated her nearly...
Matadoric JV. He's Matadoric in college.
Oh, there's the yurt.
Oh, I love the smell coming from porcupine.
Oh, there's the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
But hopefully, and I just hope that it doesn't come back to bite us. Yeah, he's terrible. Well, look at the awesome guys that we met today.
Yeah, I think I love the contrast, right? Because Josh, this episode's all about duality and about facing our outward appearance and our inward self appearance, you know, and Josh on the outside is like this great guy, right? You know, he says all the right things. He's charming. He's charismatic. He likes Jen for Jen, and then he turns out to just be this horrible piece of trash human being.
Right.
But then these guys who we first meet fighting each other and destroying Jen's car, and who, for all intents and purposes, are villains.
Yeah.
That we are. Oh, no post-credit scene again. That's fine. We don't
But
need it.
that really felt short though. Like, how long was that?
30 minutes exactly.
Wow. That's we talked about this last week. That also
Maybe give or take, maybe like 20 something.
that still felt like it flew by.
It
Holy
did
hell.
fly by, but we were having fun.
Yes, just like last week.
Yeah.
Like all of these that I'm sure more people are gonna complain about, but I like these kind of episodes.
So what I was trying to say is like it's all about this episode was played with duality really, really well. Because you have Josh and then you have the villains, and the villains ended up being like these really caring, compassionate, hurt people who were able to open up, whereas this Josh guy is just the worst scumbag on the face of the earth.
Yeah, I don't like him. I hope that she gets to crush him later.
Yeah, not cool, dude.
Not cool.
Not cool at all. No Daredevil out of this episode. Pretty much knew that.
Yeah.
Once I saw the title of the episode, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the Blonsky episode. Because literally, I was wondering last week when those Blonsky scenes were gonna come in with the villains. So I'm glad. I'm pretty sure Daredevil's next week. So
I would have to think they have to introduce him before the finale.
But we needed this episode because this episode was the culmination of the Jen dealing with her She-Hulk persona storyline. Like this series as a whole, even though we got the origin of She-Hulk in episode 1, this series essentially is an origin story of She-Hulk. So while we do have the traditional superhero origin in episode 1, you have to look at this entire series as an origin story for Jen, She-Hulk, and the superhero, like the lawyer Jen persona and the superhero She-Hulk persona. And now we get this resolution with the Jen She-Hulk the fight, the inner conflict, because Jen learns, because yes, while Jen was very confident as Jen in this series, and while she does feel empowered as Jen, when she becomes She-Hulk, she starts to notice that people look at her differently, and she likes the way that people look at her when she's She-Hulk, and she feels conflicted because she also likes Jen, but she can't help but want to be She-Hulk because people give She-Hulk more attention. And this episode kind of resolves that with Jen learning that, Jen is just as important as She-Hulk, and she needs to learn to balance the two. And if someone cannot appreciate one or the other, then they are not someone that she should be spending time with. Which I think is, if you look at the series as a whole, is really the message that each of those episodes were trying to tell up until now.
Right.
And then next week we can introduce Matt Murdock and Daredevil, and he could resolve the superhero conflict in Jen's life. Because now that we have the the physical appearance stuff done,
the more personal stuff, and now here's the outward conflict.
Yeah, now it's hey, you have these gifts now. You need to use them.
Right.
Like this is like you have a very rare opportunity that not many people have. You are a lawyer and you are a Hulk. So things that you cannot achieve in the court of law, you might have to use your She-Hulk persona to help people. The same way that I use my Daredevil persona to help people. So and how the group and how Blonsky was sort of her mentor into mental acceptance and personal physical acceptance. I think Matt Murdock will be her mentor into the superhero side of She-Hulk. And then when you put those things together in the finale, we're going to get a fully realized She-Hulk, and it's going to be awesome.
Hey, that's a great way of kind of piecing every episode together.
Yeah.
And you're completely on point with all of it. And like I was saying earlier, is I know a lot of people weren't crazy about last week's episode. I can definitely hear the rumblings about this one in terms of this was another. If anything, I would say that this one almost felt like a little bit. I don't want to use the word filler. I definitely don't want to use the word nothing.
This episode was not filler.
No, it felt
100% not filler.
I think part of it is with MCU content, people are expecting action and more high energy, but I don't mind that this isn't that. I enjoy it. I thought this episode was really fun. Like you said, we got a lot from it, and it was just funny.
Well, I think what people need to realize is the title of the show is She-Hulk. We need to address She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters first and foremost. That is the primary character. That is who we need to spend the most time with. It's not called Daredevil Born Again. We're getting that series. We're getting 18 episodes of it. Matt Murdock is coming. He's going to have a very big part in Phase 5 of the MCU. He's going to be in this. He's going to be in Echo. He's going to be in Daredevil. But for right now, we need to deal with Jen because this is her show and this is the first time we've met Jennifer Walters. So, and again, what I think is really well done, I think if you go back and you rewatch the series, I think it has a really good arc for Jen as a person and her dealing with life as a Hulk, and then her dealing with her own personal issues that she has, her insecurities about herself, you know. So I think if you go back and you rewatch this when all 9 episodes are done, I think there's a very clear trajectory that the character of Jennifer Walters has, and there's a very clear path that she goes on. And I think it'll be a lot more clear once the series is done, because this episode really helps lock in a lot of those problems that were set up in those past episodes, because these episodes are so short, so there's only so much you can do while also trying to introduce a supporting cast and also trying to tell a cohesive, you know, narrative in 20-something minutes. So I think if you take Jen's arc from every episode and you string it together into one big line, I think everything fits together perfectly, like a nice puzzle.
No, definitely. Actually, so we talked a little bit about the trajectory of the show and like kind of what it led to right here. Let's talk about what's the most fun part about the episode was, which were all the Z-list villains.
Oh,
who, if we want to talk about, like, go from the extreme of Josh sucks to how fun and how great they all were.
Yeah, and how hilarious it is at the end of the day that in a group that features the Abomination and other villains, the most villainous character in this episode is a guy named Josh.
Yeah.
It's just a regular guy named Josh. And I think that's also the show's meta commentary on toxic men. And, you know, because, again, you can't really say this show is anti-men when you have a group like the Obama Stay,
right?
You know, healing center over there. The only thing that does give me pause is that Wrecker is there,
He's
right?
there?
From the Wrecking Crew.
Which I have a question about that now.
Yeah, I have questions too.
But here's what I'm now wondering is, like, by all means, like, I'm going to be skeptical of him and hesitant, and I'm not going to trust him until the end of the series confirms one way or the other. But I do wonder, because there's a chance that maybe there's a part of him that is reformed, and we see what a piece of shit Josh is. So maybe they, like, maybe he willingly left and they had to, like, find other people to work for them. And by all means, like, we know that Josh is part of intelligentsia too, but maybe that leads credence to they had to send other guys.
Yeah, obviously that's the case. But what I'm referring to is that Wrecker is there. Wrecker knows what this group is trying to do. Why didn't he give Jen a heads up? Why didn't he tell Jen, hey, this really terrible person is looking to get your blood? Like, he kind of could have gave her, like, a heads up, right?
He could,
and
but
that was really weird that he didn't.
I don't really know if it's that weird, because Blonsky's been, like, so, like, weird this whole series.
But he knows what their boss wants. He was the leader. He says to Thunderball, hey, did you get the blood? No, the boss is going to be pissed.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I think that's valid. I guess I'm not super surprised given, like, just the kind of character Blonsky's been this whole series.
But
so far.
no one's talking about Blonsky.
Oh, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Wrecker.
Oh.
I'm talking about the guy from the Wrecking Crew.
I know, but what do you mean by heads up, though? I don't.
Like, he could have told Jen, like, hey, I worked for this guy who's looking to take your blood. He's very dangerous. Be careful.
Gotcha. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, so that's what I'm talking about. It's very, that's the only thing that made me very suspicious, because what made him change, yeah, it's great that he tried to help her. I don't know if maybe there just wasn't enough time in the episode, but the implication is maybe he was holding it back. Maybe he's holding it back,
but, or again, maybe, like, while they're at the retreat, like, it's just not really on his mind, or it's not something, he could also be stupid and just not think about it.
Yeah, I just think that, because it's weird, because they planted this guy Josh at a wedding. Like, they've been surveilling her, and yeah, it was foreshadowed at the ending of the last episode, if you really think about it, with kind of the fact that they were being watched while they were together.
Right.
But is Wrecker also a plant, or is he just reformed? That's something we have to ask ourselves.
I think both are very valid. I think the plant almost feels like it's too obvious at the same time. So I think that's why I think they're both valid options. Or maybe I'm just holding out too much hope that can we not all be pieces of shit?
Yeah, but I'm not saying they're all pieces of shit. I do think I'm holding out hope that Blonsky is reformed.
Yeah.
And that he becomes this Hulk Squad's version of A-Bomb, who is a good version of Abomination in the comics. It was the character Rick Jones.
Yeah.
I hope he becomes he helps Hulk and She-Hulk. So I'm holding out hope that he's still good because he's great. And I love the show is memeing and the show is making fun of inspirational posters in the background of his room with like stupid sentences that mean nothing.
And he's attributing them to himself like it's profound.
It's hilarious. Like today is today. Like that is hilarious because it means absolutely nothing. But
it's just a statement.
Yeah, so you have that on the exterior walls, on the interior walls, the perimeter of the room, but then inside the circle, there's so much profound wisdom being shared between these people, and so much like truly good emotional advice and catharsis happening. You know, so I like that contrast. The show is being very clever in how it portrays things because it wants to make fun of things, but it's also like, yeah, inspirational posters are stupid and maybe you shouldn't trust these guys, but mental health is also very important and you should definitely seek out counseling and people and groups if you need to, just to, you know, talk to people and just to get those issues that you have and work through them. So it's, again, the show continues to be very, very clever. I love the line where She-Hulk essentially says, oh, they're just people on the internet. Who cares what they have to say? This show is very prophetic. And it continues to troll the main hate groups that target the show for no other reason other than it's called She-Hulk.
Right, and she even makes the point of like, even though obviously no one's smashing anyone in real life, but she makes the point of like, no one's saying it to your face because it's very easy to hide behind a computer screen.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's just, so again, for Jen, this is a very good episode. For the MCU, this is a very fun episode because we do meet a lot of new characters, and they're all there's Z to C list villains, I would say. El Aguila, he was a Heroes for Hire villain. He tangled a lot with Iron Fist and Luke Cage. I believe he's a mutant in the comics. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but another instance of the MCU introducing mutant characters, you know. And then we also have our first vampire ? In Saracen, who in the comics is a vampire. He appears in like 1 or 2 issues of a Blade comic, and he's called the Ancient. He's one of the first vampires, along with like Nosferatu. But it's weird because he could be a vampire, but he also is out in sunlight.
Yeah, that's what.
And he's not a daywalker in the comics. Like Blade is the daywalker, so.
Which makes the whole joke of Blonsky just saying like so straightforwardly, he thinks he's a vampire.
Yeah, so it's possible that he is a vampire, but I don't think he's a vampire.
Yeah.
I think he thinks he's a vampire. We have Manbull, who is a Manbull. I mean, I don't know what else I could say about that.
And you know what? I do have to say, his design was very good. He looked very convincing.
Yes.
The way they designed him I would assume that was all CGI though, not that was practical.
And then my favorite of these characters in the comics, Porcupine, who is an Ant-Man villain, and also he battled Spider-Man a lot, and he battled other characters in the comics over the years. And his whole backstory is that he was a weapons designer who decided that he was going to build a suit of armor based on a porcupine, and it was going to be the ultimate weapon.
I mean, it's at least protective, if we're going to be totally honest.
And it looks just as goofy in the comics as it does in the show, and that's what's so hilarious about it. He did that, and he's like, this is going to be the ultimate weapon. And it just looks like he made it out of straw hay and just like sewing needles. So it's funny, but I really like what they did with the character here.
Yes.
And instead of it being like a weapon that he's going to use to harm people or to gain profit off of, it's just a protective suit.
Right.
No, he's very guarded. He's emotionally guarded. He's physically guarded. He wants to keep people at a distance.
Right.
And those giant quills coming out of his suit physically keep people at a distance. So again, very good use of the characters. Very good use of characters that we would never see in any other MCU property, but now they exist in the MCU. And you could also kind of ponder like, hey, what heroes have these characters run into? You know, it's really cool. And I like when shows build the world without really sacrificing story or purpose, because they introduced all of these characters, but they really did service the story and they service Jen's arc as a whole.
It's not like, hey guys, here's another cameo, just for fan service purposes. It served it at the way that this episode was trying to be told. And again, it was just fun. I think everyone performed really well. And I'm not expecting that we'll see them again. Maybe if we're lucky at the finale, but I mean, even if as just one-offs, they really worked for me.
I think there was a Blonsky scene that we haven't seen yet of him talking to a group of people or him talking in front of people. So I'm hoping we get that in the finale. I'm hoping he comes back in the finale. I'm hoping the finale is like all of the characters that helped She-Hulk throughout the series, or She-Hulk helped, like Wong and Blonsky and Bruce, and they all come back and they join forces, you know, to take down the Hulk King, who I have to assume is, what's that nerdy guy? I can't remember his name.
Offhand, no.
I can't. He's so forgettable and he's so generic.
I know.
Is it Todd?
Yes,
Todd?
the guy that Mallory was working with.
Yes.
Who was also the weird cringe guy on
At
the date.
this point, it has to be Todd. It has to be, right? He has to be the Hulk King. He's
or he's at least involved very closely.
Yeah, he could be working for the leader. The leader could be involved in the intelligentsia somehow. It could be revealed that now that we're getting rumors that, you know, Tatiana and Mark are going to be in Captain America 4. So we might get She-Hulk and Hulk in Captain America 4. It's very possible that the leader could be revealed as the driving force behind the intelligentsia, this version of the intelligentsia. And, you know, it would make sense. So we still have that up in the air. But I'm assuming it's that guy because, listen, he's a creep. Josh is a creep. I hope they both get punched in the face.
Yes.
Really hard.
She said herself, like, hey, if people only don't say it to your face, because she would Hulk smash them. And that is very accurate.
Yeah, I hope she Hulk smashes both of them. I hope we see... Oh, I hope Titania comes back. The number one Titania.
I was gonna say that would make the most sense, because literally, like, she once said this is an overhater, and I don't think her getting humiliated the way she did last episode is the way she's gonna go out.
Yeah, and I don't think she's the Hulk King.
No.
I think maybe the Hulk King will recruit her as muscle, but I don't think she is the Hulk King. I think that she has her own ways of dealing with Jen, and I don't think she would... She just seems like a very independent woman. You know, she doesn't need, like, men underlings to...
Not that she'd say no to them.
Not that she would say no to them, but I don't think she would, like, masquerade as...
Right. I feel like this has to be, to some extent, like, some semblance of a reveal of... And who knows, maybe we're totally off the mark, and it'll be a bigger reveal of someone we haven't considered yet. But I don't think, like, hey, guys, there's this villain. They're also this other villain. And it's like, I don't think they would go that way.
I just think it would also fit in with the show, with the main theme of the series so far, which is, like, expect the unexpected, which is people not really being what they seem. You know, Jen and She-Hulk, Josh, scumbag, nice guy scumbag, Blonsky, villain, reformed. I think that, you know, like, oh, the main villain of the She-Hulk series is, like, some little pipsqueak nothing named Todd.
Right.
You know, that would be great.
Right. Or it could be one of the wonderful characters we've met so far. Like, watch it be Mallory or something.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think either, but again, though, I like, and that's what's exciting, though, is I like that I don't always know. It's fun to theorize, but I also like to be surprised.
Yeah, I just love that the two worst characters of this show are just guys named Todd and Josh.
I know.
There's
Like, do you know what was funny? I literally had to think to myself, like, okay, for as many installments in the MCU as there's been, like, I almost feel like there has to have been some other person that happened to be named Josh at some point. They now have to be associated with him forever.
Nah, yeah, but, you know, it's okay. Not all Joshes and not all Todds are bad people, but this Josh is a D-bag, and...
Major D-bag.
You know what? He's got a stupid face.
Mm-hmm.
Take that, Josh. Got him.
Got him. You sure showed him.
Yeah, take that. That one's for Jen. And you know what? I hope you got stomach cramps when you ate that milkshake and french fries.
Yeah, I mean, that's very heavy to... I don't think they're bad, but that's a lot to take in, so...
Yeah.
Maybe slip something, I don't know.
Take that. But... Oh, man. Good episode. I think that's all I have to talk about. I mean, we addressed the comic book references that I saw this episode. We addressed the characters. We addressed Dan Slott, the big Dan Slott Easter egg in the episode. But that pretty much is it for me.
It was kind of a simple episode in terms of execution and everything that was included. But I dug it. I was really into it.
Yeah, because again, it wasn't filler. It was an episode that serviced the plot and serviced the character. The main character of the series. Mm-hmm. It was the resolution of one of her main story conflicts, one of her main character conflicts, you know, her internal struggle. Mm-hmm. So this was a necessary episode. This is an episode that needed to be here.
Right.
So as much as we want to see Daredevil and Frogman next week, we're going to get it next week.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead us into the finale. And we're going to be better off for it because, like I said, all the pieces fit together now. Mm-hmm. All the pieces are starting to fit together. And by the end of the series, we're going to have a fully fleshed out and fully formed She-Hulk character. Mm-hmm. And then we could do whatever we want with her. We could have her show up in Captain America. We can have her show up in Daredevil. We can do whatever we want because Jen will be there and she will be mentally stable and physically stable. She will be confident in her professional life and confident in her superheroic life. And it's going to be pretty cool.
It's going to be cash money.
It's going to be pretty radical.
I appreciate that they said radical in this episode.
Of course. But yeah, that's it for me. Nikki, you have anything else you want to say about the episode?
Not really, honestly. I mean, you put it best. Just one, it was a great episode, and two, even though it doesn't appear necessary on the surface, it is, and I think every episode's been necessary. I think they've all developed her pretty well in a different aspect, and again, slowly kind of reaching this part. I love this. I'm very into it.
Yeah, but I think that's going to do it for us, guys. Nikki, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter, at EgglordNikki.
And you guys can find me on Twitter, at the MontyVerse, on Instagram, at MontyVerse, at Facebook.com/the MontyVerse. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest content. We have reaction videos, trailer reactions, Power Ranger reactions. We're doing character bios. We're doing movie reviews and tons of other stuff. So if you're a fan of all that and you're a fan of us, subscribe. Check us out. Check some more content out. Until next time, guys, stay versed.